At Coomacka of the Demerara River in Region 10, women manage forestry operations for 2 concessions, now stretching 24,000 hectares.
We don't have green heart or purple heart, but we have Kabakali, Darina, Moro, Lima Bali, Silver Bali, Brown Silver Bali. We have that and lesser species.
So what's the main species that you take out?
All.
Sybil Edmondson heads up the Coomacka Forest Products and Agricultural Cooperative Society. Is there something about your organization that stands out that you'd like to tell me about?
Actually,
What makes it run well?
We push for transparency and getting our books in order, our records in order. And we are one of the organizations that do audit every year.
What is an adjective?
Stacey Ann Williams, a school teacher, is the secretary-treasurer for the Coomacka Group. She said apart from earning a living, the forestry operations has helped her in other ways.
I think knowledge, because now I can calculate cubic, and I learned it through there. Not through my career, but I learned to calculate that through forestry. So with that, not just only finance, but it helps you intellectually. You learn different things, and you learn that everybody's work is important. And honestly, I can't work in the back down, but I learned that you have to appreciate what you have, and you have to go forward with that. So you gain a lot by being a member of that. Because you will find that the women will go out mostly to actually the workshops and the seminars. So I will be involved with that mostly. So I got a lot of information through forestry. So I'm gaining a lot of knowledge through that.
Falana Monton agrees and gets similar benefit from being part of the organization.
It helps me a lot financially, and I even learn from it, because when I have workshop and so I would go and I would learn certain things. Even sometimes when we go based on like global warming and so on, it's helped me back, because I have a child in grade 6 and it's come back to she. So sometimes she come with a question, and I'll be able to help you when it comes to like forests and the rainforests and so.
Though a part-time sweeper cleaner, Falana also gets out in the back dam for the forestry operations. To do what?
You would say as chokeman.
What chokeman is doing?
Well, depends. Like if he fell in, I would go with him. I would help you fetch your gasoline bottle. Sometimes if it's not enough gas, and if you rip in, I would help you lash line and so.
Lash line, what do you mean?
Like if you cut in let me say a plank, you just gotta scrape the wood, and if you want it real straight, he would get a line, a chalk line, and you would lash it. So he would follow the line to get the wood straight.
So that's what you used to do.
And sleep.
But it's hard work.
Yes, it's real hard work.
The move to set up community organizations in places like Coomacka stemmed from illegal forestry operations.
At that time, chainsaw lumber was being promoted on the market, so you would have a lot of loggers going into the forests and harvest tree, process them using chainsaws, also illegal at that level. Firstly, we couldn't have monitored what was coming out of the forest, so that was a big issue. We don't know what was being sold, and then in addition to that, we work with certain regulations. We have the Forest Regulations, the Forest Act, and the Code of Practice. So if we have those activities being conducted, we can track what is actually coming out and is working outside of the gambit of our regulation.
The Guyana Forestry Commission stepped in, seeing value in giving communities legal access to land. That way, villagers could sustain their livelihood and provide job opportunities for others.
Each concession is given a quota, as in the amount of produce they can harvest from a particular area. And based on that, GFC would calculate based on 3 cubic meter per tag. So if by instance you have an area and you get 1,000 cubic meter, you divide that by 3 cubic meter, and that will give you the amount of tags for that area. And that will give you the amount of tags they can collect to harvest for that period of time, which is mostly an annual period.
In the nearby community of Maria Elizabeth and Tree Friends, women are involved in ripping the logs as they manage the Loggers and Farmers Association there. The chair of the group, Vanessa Daniels, invited us to her home to talk about their business.
This here is a contract We have two concessions. One is based at 28 kilometers UNAMCO, and one's at 50 miles Aichuni. This one here is for the Aichuni area. This is them 1308.
How big is that?
13,000 odd acres.
Okay. Is it difficult keeping up with the regulations?
Not for me.
Why?
Not for me because of the several trainings that I did. I can't let government or GFC or FTCI waste money. I can't let people time and money go down the drain. So what I've learned, I have put it to practice. But for some persons, it's hard.
Vanessa Daniel said the women of Maria Elizabeth and Three Friends hope to expand their operations.
We female want to go into charcoal burning. The females, because most time the female won't be in the forest, only to go and do like the inspection or so, you know. But we would like to go do charcoal burning. You know, most women are at home. You can't just rely on the men them. You have to get up and get. We have children to go to school, you know. We got different things we could do.
Over at Coomacka, Sybil Edmondson has plans to do more in the future and grow the business, with plans to tap into the $900 million revolving fund between the government of Guyana and Demerara Bank.
Our goal actually is to go down in the downstream production, and that is making furniture and having our own joinery shop. That is one of our goals this year, to do a joinery shop for the other guys. Some of them is not drop out to school, but when they finish school, where would they go and work? So if who like joinery, they can work in the joinery shop, make furnitures. Seeing that we have two schools here, we can supply the schools with the furniture. And I think that's the way to go.
Other women in the group agree that that's a good goal to pursue.
Coomacka, if you look at Coomacka, you don't find anybody doing joinery like bed and furniture. You have to go out there to actually access these things. So I think because we're cutting the wood, so I don't think if we can go to the extent of creating that here and creating our shop which manufactures beds and furniture and these things, then you don't have to solely depend on the forest.
Because the area of gender and forests has been unexplored in Guyana, a group of researchers funded by the Food and Agriculture Organization in Guyana has been looking at different dynamics, such as the way women-led organizations have access to resources as opposed to those run by men. Overall, the research was intended to gather data and evidence to inform future work and projects by institutions and agencies responsible for forestry and gender in Guyana.
A lot of the research that we have been doing, we hope will help to inform policy making, will help to inform and support decision making and the development of plans and programs that are done, not only at the level of the issuance of state forest permits and so on, but also having a better understanding of how we can engage and support these communities in a more equitable manner that looks at the issues that, in particular within the forestry sector, that are more important to women, that recognizes their role and ensures that they have the recognition and they have more opportunity to be able to flourish within this.
I feel the women bring stability and management, because a lot of women know how to manage the few dollars that they have. And a lot of women in our organization see the struggle or see the danger that their husbands go through to bring the money to the table. And I feel that helped them to really appreciate what their husband is doing, so they know how to manage the few cents that they have.
Reporting for the newsroom, Neil Marks.